We'll go ahead and get started. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve. Happy holiday season to everybody. Thanks for being here with me on this Monday evening. I think it might be morning time for some of the folks on this call as well. So wherever you are, season's greetings and thanks for being here. If you don't know me, I'm Jamie, and I'm excited to walk through this webinar with you guys today. I've been working at Talkatoo for 5 years now, and I've been a part of this mission to try and help give back some vets some time in their day. And today's webinar, the agenda we're looking at is a quick refresher on how to use our auto SOAP notes tool, how to record on the desktop, record on mobile, how to use the AI assistant feature and save notes for later, turn them into different types of documents. And then we're going to look at the new custom notes feature, which is relatively new. We're going to look at call recording, which is pretty awesome as well, and do a bit of a demonstration of how it works. Maybe give one of you guys a call over the course of the webinar. And I'm very excited to walk through all that with you. A couple other updates that have been pushed out this month. The ability to regenerate your notes. So if you want to change a note into a different display, you can do that. We've updated how fast your notes can process. So hopefully you've been seeing or experiencing some of that over the last couple of weeks. And then we're going to look at some other accuracy updates. And if you're already using these tools, if you're not brand new, I encourage you to check out the App Store and just plug Talkatoo into your phone or your iPad, if that's what you're using it on, and just make sure it's up to date. There's usually an update available if you haven't done that recently. So just a friendly reminder to try that out, but maybe even over the course of this call. And same with your desktop app. You can always quit Talkatoo from the desktop and restart it. That'll get you updated. All right, so let's crack into it. So I want to show you first just a quick refresher on how to use auto SOAP notes. So if you've been doing this already for some time now, just bear with me in case there's anyone new on the call. So firstly, how to record a note. There's two ways to do it. You can do this from your desktop app or from the mobile app. So to do it from your desktop, you want to expand your Talkatoo open. So you're clicking that plus sign, that's expanding your window open. You can navigate to the notes section on the top left. And from here, you'll see the record a new SOAP button. So this is one way you can record a SOAP note. These auto SOAP notes, they're designed for whole appointment recordings. So you can capture multiple voices and you can stop and start these sessions as needed. So clicking here will pause the note, and clicking here will resume the note. So you can do these in pieces if need be. And at the end of the recording, you want to most importantly click the submit button up at the top left, and that will show you that it's been submitted and it will begin processing. So that's your mechanism for recording notes from the desktop app. At this stage, there's no template selection from the desktop app. But there is on mobile. So I'd like to give you just a quick overview of how to record on mobile. Very similar. Think of this as a tape recorder in your pocket, really. And opening up the Talkatoo app, you'll see there's a few sections here. You'll want to be on the Your Notes section. And this is really where you'll want to live, where you're going to record your whole appointments. And you'll see there's a little drop-down selection here now where you can choose a variety of different templates. So this is relatively new. You can do this on mobile right now, but you can't do that yet on desktop. So starting a desktop note, you're just doing an auto SOAP. On mobile, you can choose which template you're going to use. And we're going to look into that a little further later in the call. This works very similar to the desktop. You just tap the button in the middle, that starts a new note. Tap it again to stop the note. And whenever you've paused a note, you'll be looking at a screen similar to this. From here, you can always back out of the note, which would leave you a draft note in your list. And a draft note is something you can come back to later, and you can actually add more to it throughout your day. So if you don't want to submit it right away, you want to maybe come back and add some lab results in that you're waiting on, you can always come back to these draft notes, and you'll see it adds another segment to the note. And you don't really have to wait for this to finish its animation. You can go ahead and click submit if it's all that you needed to record. Okay, perfect. So now we've done a quick overview of how to record a note on desktop and on mobile. Now I want to pivot over to the assistant feature of the desktop application. So clicking your plus sign, you can navigate to the assistant page on the right-hand side. And this is your AI assistant. This is where you can ask Talkatoo questions. You can give it commands. You can tell it various prompts. You'll see there's a few buttons in the middle. These are all customizable with the pencil icon. Yours will be slightly different than mine if you haven't used this feature before. You can click on the prompt, then you can dictate. You could also type in here, and you can paste information in here as well. I'll give you a brief example. So let's say you want to customize a prompt. Maybe you want to summarize your lab work. So I've written in here, summarize my lab work into abnormal ranges. If I were to go into one of my documents where I've got some lab work, I could copy all the information and I could paste it into my Talkatoo by opening the assistant, selecting this prompt, summarize my lab work. And to get information into the assistant, you can paste it in with your keyboard. So clicking Control-V on your keyboard or Command-V if you're on Mac, pastes the information in, and then it will follow the prompt that you gave it. So in this case, I've asked it to summarize this into abnormal ranges. When I click Enter on my keyboard, the assistant will run the command. So this is just one example of how you can leverage the assistant. It's kind of it's tucked away, but it's at your disposal whenever you need it, right? So you can open it up whenever you need it. And now I've got my lab work summarized into abnormal ranges. If I want to take this a step further and do something else with this, I can tell it exactly what I want. So I could say, please compose an email to Bonnie and include the abnormal ranges in this note. Please include my signature at the bottom and ask her when she's free to connect and share feedback. The assistant works in a thread manner where you can kind of continue the conversation until you get what you need. Once you've got what you need, you can pull it out by dragging this square icon and dropping it into your email or into your practice management software. So there's a drag drop element here. You can also click the square to copy it and paste it out. And finally, you can save it to your inbox. So this notebook icon will save this thread, or this result rather, to your inbox, which is accessible here on the desktop app. And when you look at the note, you can see it here. You could also open it in our website. So your inbox is accessible to you in the desktop app as well as the website. So you can click open in browser, and that will show you your note inbox. It's a little easier to see everything when you open it in the browser. And you'll see any notes that you've sent over here, like my abnormal ranges for Bonnie, or perhaps one of my SOAP notes that I've recorded in the room with my phone or with the desktop app. So more about the note inbox in a moment. But now that we've touched on the AI assistant over here, I just want to really emphasize that you can create things in here that are good for you. So whatever your daily tasks are, whether you're writing referral letters or you're writing take-home instructions, put those commands in here, just type them in. And then all you need to do is click the prompt and then tell it by starting dictation what you want included. This is also great for translating. You can translate communications into different languages. You can turn it into different formats, like bulleted lists or numbered lists. And this is really an interesting way to use Talkatoo. So you can type, talk, or paste to it. All right. So let's say you made a soap note, right, using Auto Soap, using your phone in the room. You can also take these notes and you can generate more content. So the transcript will always be available to you at the top. You can take this transcript and you can run it through the assistant page here. So if you have extra things in here, like those take-home instructions, once you've got your SOAP documented, you could take your transcript and you could copy it, and you could then create some take-home instructions, for example. So I'm just Control-Ving to paste it in, hitting Enter, and now I've got my take-home instructions generated. I can save that, and that will send it back to the note inbox, where I can pull this up on any computer, and I can open up those take-home instructions. Okay, so that brings everyone up to speed on kind of the AI features and how they work. So now I would like to just chat briefly about the custom notes feature, which is new in the last 3 weeks. Custom notes allows you to create a new format of your auto notes. So what you're looking at now is the Auto Soap layout. You can customize this layout at the top right-hand corner of our website. So when you're logged in, you can see your SOAP template and you can make edits to it, as you may know. If you've hit the ceiling with this, though, and you're looking for a different type of template, maybe it's more of a specialty template, or you're looking to add sections into this, that's where custom notes comes into play. So custom notes, you can create them in the settings page. You just navigate here on the left-hand side to the custom notes tab. And in this tab, there are a few boxes where you can create a custom note template. So let's create one together. I'll take you through it step by step. And I want to call out, if you've used custom notes or tried it in the last few weeks, there were some tweaks made to it recently in the last week or so that fixed some of the spacing issues. So if you were experiencing issues around the spacing of the results, that's been addressed, which I'm really happy about. So on the custom note page, start with a title. So we might call this Equine Soap, for example. In your next box, this is where we're going to create the template. So we can write in the different sections that we want to see filled in for the template. But we're going to begin with a simple command that tells the AI what we're doing. So I'm going to start with, write me a medical record with the following categories filled in. So that, something to that effect, is what's going to make your custom note work. And you could change this phrase by a couple words, but this is generally kind of the instruction set you want to give first. You're telling it, okay, write me a document, right? So if you're out in the field working with, a herd of cattle, you might put here, write me a flock report or write me a herd report with the following categories filled in. So you can kind of customize this to your needs, but something to this effect is what you're looking for. And then you're telling it what you want to see. So it might start off with medication history. And then you might follow it up with subjective, presenting complaint. And you'll see I'm listing these out section by section with commas in between. I might put physical exam. I might put assessment, problem list. And these are things that I might not have seen before in my Auto Soap template. That's really where custom notes comes in. It's where you've customized your Auto Soap template, but you're not able to fill in things that are missing. So you can write those things in here. And when you're done with all the different categories, then you can optionally add some extra rules in the bottom section here, such as include my signature at the bottom of this note, or you could put in the clinic name at the bottom. You could put in, this was dictated with Talkatoo, like some kind of phrase you want in there every time. That's what this second box is for. Another trick, if you want to see these sections bolded in the note inbox, you could put 2 asterisks here on either side of each section. And you could also ask it to make it bold in this box as well. So you can play with these 2 boxes and kind of come up with your own ideas, but generally you want to list out all the different elements of your template and hit Save Changes. Doing so creates a custom note, and you can now select your custom note as your default template. So on your mobile app, when you're in the custom note section, or rather the auto soap section, you'll just select your template from this list. And once you select it, recording the note will key it up in that format for you in the web app. So let me show you an example of a custom note layout that you could achieve. And we'll just jump into this one here. And so you'll notice that it's in a different layout than my auto soap. It's got extra sections within it. And you'll also get the audio as well as the transcript at the bottom and the top. That's another awesome aspect of using a custom note. And then of course you can edit these as well. So you can still, type in these, or you could dictate inside of these using the desktop app. You could always add color inside of these. And that is essentially how a custom note works. Soon you'll be able to choose that layout from the desktop app as well when you're recording a note. But again, for now, it's going to use the typical auto soap layout. So we're working towards that template selection in the middle. Okay, awesome. Now I want to talk to you about regenerating notes. So this is a pretty cool feature. So let's say you recorded an auto soap note and there were multiple pets in the room. And now you've ended up with one soap note for an appointment that had 4 pets in it. Well, here's a great opportunity to regenerate our note. You'll see at the top there's a template selector here. And this is for notes that you've already submitted, right? So it's already been generated. You can select a different type of note, being one of your custom notes. And if you pick, say, multi-pet soap and regenerate it, Talkatoo will actually regenerate the note with that new layout in mind, being your multi-pet soap, which is a custom note I made that allows for multiple pets to be written about, which is awesome. So if you had like a litter of puppies in there or cats, you could regen and have all of them accounted for. In this note, it was just one patient, but here is where it would write you so your second soap note, your third soap note, or your fourth, and you can continue to regenerate into different variations, which is a really great feature. So check this out on your end. You might find this doesn't load up right away. It is brand new, so you might need to let it load. Give it a moment, but once it's there, just click the template you want and then click the button and it'll generate it up into a new format. Okay, fantastic. Now let's walk through the callback feature, which is out for everybody on Android today. So if you're on Android, update the app from your Play Store, you'll see this new feature. If you're an iPhone user, this will be out for you if it's not on your phone already within the next few days, couple days, if everything goes to plan. We did upload it today to the App Store, but they sent it back to us. We needed to make a couple additions, but iPhone users, you'll see this over the coming days. This is the callback feature. It allows you to make calls to your clients from your iPhone or your Android cell phone from anywhere. So we could be at home like I am today, and I could ring you up and it will appear like I'm calling from the practice, but really I'm calling from my phone. So that's the first major benefit of the call recording feature. And when you hang up the phone call, it will produce you a call summary in your inbox. So as soon as you hang up that phone call, you'll receive one of these in your note inbox. So it will give you the transcript of the phone call. It will also give you the AI summary of the phone call, and then it will give you the audio as well, so you could play it back. And the fun part about this is you could regenerate this into something else, like a soap note. So if you covered a lot of topics on that phone call, well, great, you've got your call notes here, but maybe you now want to turn that into a soap note. You can do that with the regeneration feature. So very, very powerful tool. I'm wondering if there might be someone on this call who I could give a ring to and maybe have a quick chat with just over the telephone. I'd love to show you how this works live. Is anybody up for a quick phone call? If so, just drop your number in the chat. That would be kind of fun. And here's my new SOAP note that I was able to generate from the phone call from someone, which is fantastic. And I see a couple questions in the chat, which is awesome. So I'll address those in just a moment. And since there's no takers for the phone call demo, that's all good. I'll just show you exactly what you do. So you type your number in that you're going to outbound call. And then once you place the call, what to expect is first, actually, when you dial, you place that call, you're going to get a phone call first. So you'll pick it up, and then it will connect you directly to the owner. And then you'll have a three-way phone call between Talkatoo, your client, and yourself. And hanging up that phone call will net you that call summary note in your inbox. Okay, I'm getting some good questions from Dr. Common, who I believe is in New Zealand. So good morning to you. You're asking a few cool questions about these various templates. So Dr. Common asked, I'm seeing an equine template, and I don't see a multi-pet template. So the equine template was loaded up in the last week or so for most people on this call. So you'll see that regardless. You can't delete it yet, but in the near future, you'll be able to. So if you see that and you don't need it, just don't mind it. But you'll see it in the list, equine soap. If you don't see multi-pet soap, that makes sense because it's not preloaded. So to create that one, very simply, we're going to come to the custom notes page, Dr. Common. And Dr. Valerie, thanks for the phone call. I'll give you a ring here in a moment. We're going to create a custom note here, Dr. Common. So we're going to click create a custom note, and then we'll call this multi-pet soap. And then we're going to just plug in a simple command here, such as write me multiple soap notes for each patient mentioned in the transcript. Put a colon at the end just to indicate, hey, we're gonna feed it some information. Hit save, and then you'll now have that option on your mobile, Dr. Common. So those are the steps you need to follow to get your multi-pet soap. And then once you've got it saved, let's say you made a regular note or a note of some other variety, and there happen to be multiple patients on that note. Well, the good news is you could regenerate it into that multi-pet soap. So having that there is really gives you a lot of flexibility. Even if you don't select it from the get-go, all these notes can be used later, right? You can kind of transform it into any one of these. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And then I got a great question here from Dr. Leon, which is, do we need to let people know we're recording them? That's a really great question. So when you start the phone call, there's no indication that it's being recorded automatically. So you will need to let them know that you're recording the call, because Talkatoo won't do that for you automatically. So there might be times you can't use the feature, or you don't want to use the feature. But if you're okay with doing that and kind of giving them that heads up, then just let them know, and you'll be able to make those calls from home and still leverage the clinic caller ID, which is really the best part about the feature. Awesome. So what else do we have here? I got a question from Dr. Bonnie. Will the AI be able to search the internet in future variation? Would be useful to determine drug pricing. Good question. So I can't say confidently that that will be possible in the near future, just because the AI model isn't updated like to the T to the day. So I wouldn't rely on any pricing information from the assistant mode, or any AI for that matter, just because it's not going to be up to date all the time, right? So you can certainly ask it questions and get answers. It's really good at math, so you can throw different calculations into it, and you can ask it about medication doses and such. But always be careful with the assistant, right? Make sure you're reviewing it. And I wouldn't rely on any pricing just because it's constantly changing, right? Awesome. So I've got a phone number. Thank you, Dr. Valerie. I'm going to attempt to do a live demo here of the callback feature, and we'll see if we can't get a cool summary listed out, and then it might prompt some questions afterwards. So I'm going to attempt to give you a phone call now. So just bear with me here. And I'm not sure if anyone on the call has been using this yet, but anyone who has been just absolutely thrilled with it. So I'm really hopeful that you guys will like this. And we're just plugging in a number here for Dr. Valerie. And we're going to give this a go. We'll see what happens. And it just made me think of a really handy tip. Make sure your phone isn't on Do Not Disturb, because it won't call you. So I'm just doing this one more time, but I did mention that it calls you first. So make sure your phone is available to receive a call in order to actually make the call successfully. So one more time, I'll just show you guys how I'm teeing this phone call up. I'm just putting in the area code, and then I'm putting in the rest of the phone number, of course. So we'll try this once more. Now I'm placing the call. Now I'm getting a phone call on my own phone. So I'm picking this up. Hi, is this Dr. Valerie?
Hello?
Hi, is this Dr. Valerie? Hey, how are you doing? I'm good, thanks. Yeah, sorry to bother you. Excellent. Yeah, when do you think they might be making a Okay, yep, we can do that. And should we make any changes to their exercise regimen? You too, Dr. Valerie. All the best. Bye-bye. Okay. So that was fun. Sorry, I muted it on and off just because there was a bit of an echo. But I just wrapped up my phone call with Dr. Valerie, and I'm hoping that it worked. So we're gonna have to see. There we go. Perfect. I wasn't sure. It's kind of hard to see all the screens at once, but I just wrapped up my call with Dr. Valerie. I called them from the perspective of Fluffy's owner. And I had some questions for Dr. Valerie just on, their diet, how they're recovering. And they gave me some really good advice. And so this was our phone call. And of course, this could have gone just like your auto soap notes, right? 15 minutes, 30 minutes to an hour. These appointments can be long. So it's distilled my phone call into the key points, and it's given me a summary of the chat. And I get the transcript, but I also get those AI summarizations, which is really what I'm looking for to kind of drop into my practice management software. And Dr. Valerie received that call from my chosen caller ID, which is the best part. So even if I've left the clinic early, but I've got a bunch of callbacks to make, I can still get those done, and I don't have to worry about them calling me back on my personal number and clogging that line up. And same idea with my call summaries. They load up on the left-hand side. When I'm done, I'm going to complete and archive the note. And I've also got the audio at the very bottom. So this is a really fun feature. Now I want to show you how to set it up, because it is a little confusing at first, but we've tried to kind of simplify it. So I'm just going to give you a quick demo. This is what it will look like when you first get it. So if you're on an iPhone right now and you don't see this tab, just be patient. It should be just a couple more days and then you'll have it. If you're on Android, you'll have this right now. So navigate over to this section. You'll see two windows that you can basically input phone numbers into. So the first window here, first field, is where you'll put your cell number. The second field is where you'll put your preferred caller ID. So this could be the clinic number, this could be your cell number. And then if you have an extension or a phone tree rather, so if I call your practice and it doesn't ring right away, I have to click 1 or 2 or 3 to actually connect with a human. Input that digit here. So if 2 is what makes it ring to the front, input 2 here. This is how we set it up. It's a one-time setup. Once you've got the 2 numbers in place, click verify, and that will call your clinic or whatever the preferred caller ID is. So when you click verify, expect a phone call on that phone. You'll pick that up, and Talkatoo will give you a PIN like this. So just be prepared to enter that into your clinic's phone keypad. And then once you've taken care of that, it'll audibly tell you, hey, you've verified the number, you're all set. And then you'll be good to, this will turn into the dialer screen and you'll be good to make your first phone call. All right. Cool. So I've got some more questions here, which is awesome. So from Bonnie, just touching on letting people know that you're calling them. Yeah, I agree, Bonnie. I think it is kind of state by state in many cases. So, maybe a bit of research on, if you should disclose or not. But yes, I do believe that in some places it is, in some places it isn't. And Dr. Valerie, thanks for letting me call you up. That was kind of fun. And you asked, where do we indicate the phone call, the caller ID? So that would be this box right here. So at the bottom, that's your clinic phone number. At the top, that's your personal number. And if you don't care, like if you have the same number for both, you can just keep the same for both. But this phone tree or extension field is really important, because if you do have a phone tree and you try to verify it and you don't put a number here, then it won't ring, so you won't be able to verify it. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Beautiful. So the other fix that we did pump out the other week was like multiple users on the same subscription can verify their phone, the same phone line. So that was a bit of an issue over the last few weeks. But now if you do have this feature, it should be working. iPhone users, the phone tree box here isn't working yet. But once it's released in the next couple of days here for everyone, it will be working. So you'll get an email update just to let you know it's up and it's running. All right. So I believe that covers all of the updates that I wanted to show you guys. So I just want to thank you all for being here and taking a look and learning something hopefully new about the system, and it's always improving. So we're not done. If you have good or great ideas, I'm sure you do, we'd love to hear them. So we do have this feedback page on our website. I just want to do a quick call out to this. And a lot of you guys have been putting ideas in here, which is amazing. So thank you for doing that. And I just want to show you, if you haven't seen this, it's at the very bottom, customer feedback. You can click here and it will look our ideas portal where you can add your own ideas or vote on other ideas from other awesome users. So please check that out if you have some cool ideas for us to try. And at this stage, I'm just going to open it up for Q&A. If anyone needs help with anything, has ideas, wants to chat,